Makes for good times.
Good times.
Josh, did you see the new stuff on Eddie Gallagher?
No.
You know who that is?
Of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that is, Matt?
No idea.
He was a SEAL, and a bunch of SEALs came out and basically said that he did some bad shit, that basically he stabbed a 17-year-old boy and killed him, and then he was charged with it. And
overseas on deployment.
On deployment. Like he killed an enemy unnecessarily, 17-year-old boy.
Yeah. Okay, I think I know who this is.
And then there were two sides. There was, and I heard a bunch of stories from a bunch of SEALs saying stuff along the lines of, some were like, hey, there were two camps, and correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. There was the one camp that says, hey, we're all brothers and you should never tell on anyone, and the other camp was like, hey, if these guys all have such crazy high integrity that if they did come out together, that that there was something really seriously going wrong. And I think he got in trouble with the Navy, but then I think the president at the time, I'm assuming it was Trump. I don't remember how far back it was. Basically, did he give him amnesty or something? But basically, had the charges wiped or something. He stood up for him, right?
Yeah, I don't want to put out anything because I don't know exactly. I mean, I followed it, but I wasn't like, I had other stuff going on, so it wasn't, like, oh yeah, I knew every detail about the story.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was more than 2 years ago. I think it was. Maybe it was only 2 years ago. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. I knew Eddie. I'd met him in the military. Like when I was an instructor, he'd come through. Everything I'd ever heard about the guy was he was a great guy. Nothing. I never got anything bad about Eddie at all. Like all I ever heard was good stuff. And I don't know the story. I wasn't there, so I don't really have an opinion. My opinion is literally just that. It's an opinion of. Like, and the only thing I have is I met him as a team guy coming through training, and I thought he was a great dude. On the situation, I couldn't be farther from, just like everyone else that wasn't there. Like, all you're doing is speculating off of what two different sides of people are saying.
No, Josh, that's not today's world.
Right, exactly.
I wasn't in the military. I know nothing about this, but I'm going to tell you what's what.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I can't tell you, and I don't. Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt your story, but because I have no idea what happened, what the new stuff is.
No, you can interrupt, because anything comes out of your mouth is more relevant than mine on the subject. So the newest thing is this: he's basically come out on a podcast just recently, and he's saying, and I've read two different articles on it, and it's hard to tell exactly what the truth is. I haven't listened to the podcast to like give my exact understanding of what he said, but from what it sounds like is that he's saying we weren't there to take prisoners, we were there to do a job, and what we actually did to the guy, and this part's crazy, is we used him to practice medical procedures, which was a common practice. And one of the things that they did is he wanted to see how fast he could cut the guy's throat open and insert a trach tube. And so that's what he was doing. You haven't seen this?
No, I've not seen this.
Oh, it's a
These
pretty brutal
are
story
words
to read.
that came out of his mouth?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, according to this article, I haven't listened to the podcast yet, but he said they performed many, many medical procedures on him, and it was the medical procedures they performed on him that actually killed him. But it wasn't their job to take him a prisoner. Did you guys ever do that? Did you guys ever have people that you practice medical procedures on?
No.
You wouldn't like someone that you wouldn't get into a fight, and there'd be some guys who are sort of like, and you wouldn't be like, okay, let's break his leg and then see if we can splint it up to practice splinting legs.
Nope.
No.
That's interesting. Yeah, I really don't have any opinion on that because I don't know. And I didn't hear the podcast, so I don't want to even dive into this and like go into this. But that's never something that I've ever seen or witnessed in my time in the military whatsoever. So, yeah, that's really interesting. I'll have to go and try to like find that podcast that he's on.
Or that wasn't a protocol that you were even trained in. You weren't like,
No.
hey, if there's prisoners, you guys should practice on. Or if there was one, no, that wasn't part of the protocol.
Nothing like that. No.
It's kind of like recycling your prisoners.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to go and try to find that and listen to it.